hit the dang on button. Hold on one second. We about to get to the bottom of this, ladies and gentlemen. This don't make no sense whatsoever. Welcome to the Dark Waters channel, where we explore mysteries, figure out the truth, dive into politics, and anything else you want to know about. That's what we doing over here, baby. Let's go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats, I decided I was going to be slick today, and I was going to stream live on X. And guess what? I don't think it worked. Yeah, I tried to break the bondage of YouTube today, but the bondage broke me. It's okay. It's all right. It's going to be all right. I don't have a problem with keeping it moving. I don't have a problem with keeping it moving at all. And I'm going to go right back and we'll work in reverse order from what the hell I was just talking about. I don't like how it went down, but it's going to be all right. First of all, how you doing today? Hopefully life is treating you well. And things are going okay for you. Now, there's been plenty of times, ladies and gentlemen, where I talked about crazy meeting crazy. And you can tell that this is not in America. But there will be a day where this happens in America and crazy will meet crazy. In fact, crazy did meet crazy in New York City, inside of a subway, and crazy was choked out. And then everybody and their mama said that the guy was a murderer. This is the problem when you allow immigration and people from different nations to come into your nation that are absolutely insane. You run into craziness like this.
I don't talk about Banahai. Banahai. Ba, 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 ba. Am работать, no more instructions, boy. Make voice not William, okay? Emil, that is no good. Look at that. He's gonna do no more, baby. Please, show us love. Show us, master. I will give you bitch when it comes to whatever you want. Huh? Так нельзя совсем. They will look for you everywhere.
You know, this whole asylum seeker thing cannot but end bad for every nation that allows these people into their nation. There's no way around this. There's no way that these mixings of cultures work. Which brings me to the next thing I'm going to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. I hate the fact that I wasted some time and I wasn't able to stream it, but I want to go back to this because this is where I started. We're going to go back to where everything started. Judge Diria Talwani stops Trump admin from ending Biden amnesty that was created out of thin air. So CNHV, if I'm not mistaken, that's the name of the program. CHNV or CNHV was a program that Donald Trump created with Joe Biden created with an executive order that brought people in from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. That's how it gets its initials. And if you remember, we, as the Dark Waters family, covered this when it was going down. We went deep into the documents and we read the documents and we saw what they were saying was going down and what the deal was, if you recall. If you don't recall, then you don't know because you weren't paying attention. I'm not mad at you. I'm just telling you, we covered this in detail. It was created by an executive order. And then this trick right here comes along and she says, oh, no, there's no way we're going to get rid of this. You're going to have to go one by one and look at each case and decide if you're going to deport them. Well, I'll say this, ladies and gentlemen. Let me show you her face. I'll say this, ladies and gentlemen. And I said this earlier. I said, I want you to imagine for a moment that all of us here right now, we came from Haiti. And we came from Haiti because the president of the United States set up this program. And did some criminals come? Yes. But not everybody that came was a criminal. Did some crazy people come? Yes, but not everybody was crazy. But nonetheless, we came. And then we get here, and we here from 2020 to 2024. We getting $5,000 a month. We getting health care benefits. We getting food stamps. But let's just talk about the money we get. We get $5,000 a month that we don't have to spend on housing. It's stone hard cold cash. Cash in hand. Which has been evidence that people got up to $13,000. But nonetheless, $5,000 cash, 12 months, $60,000, $60,000 over 4 years, $240,000 cash. So we're at the end of this. We're going into year 5 of being in America, and we sitting on $240,000 cash. Whether we sent it back home, whether we bought some Nike shoes, whether we bought a car, whatever the hell we did, we sitting on $240,000. Or we done touched $240,000. We've had the privilege of purple rain and $240,000. And then it all get cut off. Regime change. You ain't getting nothing. Just think for a moment. What's in our best interest at this point in time? Is it in our best interest to go back home? Or is it in our best interest to stick around and starve to death? You got to realize that Social Security numbers have been canceled. They don't have Social Security numbers. They ain't going to work. All them benefits have been cut off. So what the Democratic Party and these judges are doing is saying, no, these people are got to be hostages here in America. They need to stay here. And even though there's no benefits for them, we want them on the streets of America. And then the Democratic Party has the nerve to get on TV and say, we're looking out for the immigrants. We're looking out for the people, for the disadvantaged immigrants. No, you're driving them into poverty in America. You're forcing them to be in poverty. Now, if I was one of them, I would be like, hey, man, the gig is up. I got money. I'm not going back to Haiti. I'll go somewhere else with my $20,000. Buy some land or whatever I need to do and go somewhere. Shit. They had enough money to go buy citizenship in another nation. If they actually understood how to hustle, it could have been, hey man, we're gonna go to America for 4 years and then we're gonna buy citizenship in St. Bart's for $100,000. And boom, now we're in St. Bart's or whatever, and we got citizenship, we can live, we get employed, we don't have to go back to Haiti. Haiti is a hellhole. Let's just keep it real. It's going through some stuff right now. So this concept and this idea that the Democrats are looking out for these people is a lie. How are you looking out for them when the benefits cut off? How you look out for them when all the federal dollars are cut off? You are holding these people hostage to use them against Donald Trump and against the American people. That's it. Let me read the article. Watch this. A federal judge stopped the Trump administration on Monday from ending deportation protections for Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans. The individuals from said countries were reportedly granted entrance into the United States under Biden's presidency as part of the humanitarian parole program, per Miami Herald. The U.S. District Judge Indria Talwani ruled after a hearing last week that the paroled migrants can stay in the United States as they pursue immigration benefits. In effect, her ruling will prevent the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem from revoking their parole status as part of an administration plan to end humanitarian parole on April 24. Read this again. From revoking their parole status as a part of the administration plan to end. So what they're trying to say is, no. You're still under humanitarian parole. Anybody who knows what a parole program means, you got a time period where you got to do things. Watch, and here's what she says. This is quotations. While the Trump administration officials are correct that the secretary's discretion, while Trump administration officials are correct that the secretary's discretion and this area is broad, their conclusion that the secretary's actions are wholly shielded from judicial review is incorrect, Tawani wrote in a 41-page order filed in Boston federal court. Tawani said that while her role in reviewing the agency's revocation order is quote-unquote limited, the judge said that she has the authority to stay the secretary's determination of parole for Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, Venezuelans, because it revokes without case-by-case review previously granted parole and work authorizations for individuals currently in the United States. So the judge is basically saying, you got to go case by case over 530,000 people to determine, and then you can't do a blanket action. You got to do it one by 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 one. And the point that I was making earlier that got lost in the sauce of trying to stream on another platform was, it's a horrific, terrible thing when human beings are used as tools. And right now, the tool of the Democratic Party is illegals. That's their tool. That's who they're using to fight with. That's their sword in their shield are illegal aliens. And I don't think they understand. Everybody that they've used as a sword and a shield has eventually turned on it. For example, they used the far left over the first 4 years. Well, the hell, they used the far left just in the past, like 30 days, 60 days on Elon, right? And then we see a far leftist bombing the governor's mansion, the freaking governor's mansion, man, where Shapiro is. So everybody that they manipulate and use backfires on them. The difference in using the far leftists as opposed to using third world country people is these third world people will chop your head off. Yeah. They'll chop your head off. And it's dangerous when you manipulate people. Like this manipulation of the hearts of men is the most dangerous thing there is. And this is what the Democratic Party specializes in, the manipulation of people. Nonetheless, the point that this judge has made is they need to go one by one through 530,000 cases before they can decide. Now, quite frankly, this is my advice to the Trump administration. That's a trap. It was established by an executive order of Joe Biden, by the executive branch. It can be taken down by the executive branch. Point blank, period. If you were to go one by one, then you get into the minutia of, now we can dispute each case and drag it out. Now they can appeal. Screw all that. You out of here. Judge, here's what I want to see you do. I want to see you, Judge. I want to see you in your army. You and your whole entire military. I want to see all y'all come on over here and stop us from sending them where they're going to go. I want to see you and your military stop us from rounding them up. Putting them on the plane, Judge. That's what I want to see. Oh, wait, you don't have a military. Well, Judge, I want to see you and your police stop us. Oh, wait, you don't have police. Well, DW, they got constables of the court. Well, your constables of the court, come on over and meet me and the FBI and the CIA and the DEA and the ATF and the Navy and the Army and everybody. Y'all come on over here and meet us. And we'll talk it out. We'll talk it out, box it out, stab it out, or shoot it out. But I just don't see them winning. But this is their ploy of agitation. Their ploy of agitation. Now, Governor Newsom, hold on, let me go to this. Governor Newsom came out, Gruesome Newsom came out, and he said that he needs some money. Yeah, he said, now I need some money because we need our health care bailed out because we gave all this money to illegals. And so we're going to need some bread. We're struggling. We're really struggling. And what I find amazing about Gavin Newsom, What I find amazing about Gavin Newsom is that he's talking about he gonna run for president. Bro, you can't manage California. Gavin Newsom signs law to spend 15 times more on Medi-Cal, including illegal aliens, than on fire prevention. No. He signs the law, but then he came asking the federal government for the money. And this is why people are leaving California. And I'm going to tell you this. I personally feel like what they're trying to do as a globalist is to move all the American citizens out of California and then give California to the illegals. Like, it's the territory of California is being conquered. It's just this conquering is different than, it's not with guns and gunships and in AC-130s. It's being conquered by just stupidity. Neglect is how they're conquering this part of the nation. And that's what was happening in cities. You had these illegal alien mass migrations, these movements of people, and it was all military-aged men because they were injecting nations inside of our nation, inside the United States of America. California is being conquered. I'm pretty sure it's the globalists and China behind it, but it has to get to the point to where we move beyond, oh, he's an elected official. No, some of these people got to be put in prison. And people are voting with their feet. That's why people leaving California, going to Texas, going to Louisiana, going to Atlanta, going to Georgia, going to rural areas. They're getting the hell out. But it still amazes me that that so many liberals don't see this. But they don't have a survival instinct at all anyway. They really don't. All right. I don't want to talk about that. Watch this.
Republican, MAGA-aligned United States Attorney here in Los Angeles, Bill Asaley, he just launched a federal probe investigating exactly where California's homeless dollars are going. The FBI and IRS are going to assist. Asaley estimates $24 billion in homeless funding statewide over the past 5 years, much of that spent here in Southern California.
We will get to the bottom of it, and if we find that any federal laws are violated, we will arrest and prosecute those individuals involved.
Governor Gavin Newsom and the chair of the L.A. County Supervisors tell Fox they welcome Asaley's investigation. However, L.A. Mayor Karen Bass, who says homeless numbers dropped by 10% last year, she says she doesn't want the investigation to be, quote, a fishing expedition. Republican, MAGA-aligned United States.
And, this is the thing. This is the saddest thing about these people, man. You know how in the Bible it says that God judged people because they didn't take care of the poor and the widows and the homeless and the hungry? They exploit these people. $24 billion missing from California's homeless fund. Man, with $24 billion, you could have built complexes in the damn desert, irrigated water to the desert, grew trees, planted trees, and built factories, and built houses, and created jobs, and gave all them people money, and built mental health care facilities for those people with $24 billion. Not 24 million, $24 billion. Give James Williams $24 billion and say, hey, James, you need to deal with homelessness in this city. First thing James is going to do is say, okay, homeless people need work. Second place, homeless people need a place to stay. Third thing, homeless people need mental health care, physical health care. It needs to be paid for. I would have went out, bought a plot of land. I don't give a damn if it was swamp land. Developed the swamp land and created a neighborhood for them with jobs in the neighborhood where you can walk to the damn job. Now, at that point in time, if you decide you still want to sleep outside on the streets, I'm arresting you. You're going to prison. Because you got housing, you got food, you got shelter, you got a job. You just want to be a derelict. You want to loiter. You want to do stupid stuff. So either you going to prison or you going to a mental health institution. And we don't have no homelessness no more. But give you opportunity. Got drug problems? We got rehab for you all in the same place. $24 billion could do all that. But guess what? Instead, $24 billion went line to pocket all these people. And then they put that money in the pocket of the politicians. And then they come back and say, oh, we don't have any money to help the homeless. Oh, we don't have any money for Medicare, Medicaid, and all this. Because you're stealing all the damn money. I mean, it's totally disgusting. I mean, it's totally disgusting. And my videos are a little bit out of order, ladies and gentlemen. You have to forgive me because, again, this is my second time doing this, but I'm going to run it for you anyway because I do it from the top of the dome. It's not like I got like a script. Watch this. Jumping back to the judge. Remember the judge that was like, you can't kick these people out of the country because you need to go one by 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 one. Meanwhile, she's telling us that we can't kick them out because we need to go one by 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 one. But they're going one by one and kidnapping and drilling women's hands and shooting them and throwing them in ditches. Yeah. And I want you to understand something. Before I play this story, I want you to understand something. Everything that the Democratic Party touches, they destroy. And the concept and the idea of immigration, but not illegal immigration, legal immigration into the United States of America is taking so much damage at the hands of the Democratic Party right now that the idea of legal immigration is going to be dead in America. It's why Trump came out with his gold card plan where he's saying, well, you pay $1 million, you can come over. It might have been $5 million, whatever he said. Because they're doing things that you can't make me support somebody immigrating here based upon the decisions these people are making and what they've done. I mean, I don't give a damn. No, close the border, close the programs. Well, we need smart people. Hell no, we don't need none of them either. Find somebody smart here, make somebody smart, give them a brain chip, do something, but we ain't taking no new people. Listen to this story, man. And I want you to listen to the story, and I want you to think about what that woman is saying, that judge. The Neri Kawili. Listen to the story, man.
2 men are facing charges in the disturbing kidnapping and torture of a Burien woman. Thanks for joining us here at 6. I'm Preston Phillips.
And I'm Mary Num. The victim told police she was forced into a car as she was arriving home from work, and what happened next nearly killed her. It's a case investigators have been trying to solve for months.
KOMO's Jeremy Harris live tonight with the story in Burien. And Jeremy, the allegations here are just shocking.
Preston, and they came to light today in charging documents that were just filed here in King County that alleged 2 men came up with a plan to kidnap a woman, steal her car and jewelry, and then kill her, but she survived. This is the Burien apartment complex where police say 2 men kidnapped the woman as she was getting home from work. From here, investigators say the men used a power drill on the woman's hands, threatened her, and eventually drove her here to the mountains near Snoqualmie Pass, where they forced her over a Jersey barrier and then shot her. She told police she played dead and waited for the men to leave before flagging down help. After months of work from the King County Sheriff's Office and the FBI, 2 men, Alexander Arnaez and Kevin Sanabria, are now in custody, charged with kidnapping, robbery, and attempted murder.
While in that vehicle, they used a power drill to drill into her hand to get access to her cell phone as well as bank accounts. There were threats made during this time as well to kill the victim, kill her family, feed her to the bears.
Investigators noted in their report that the victim and witnesses had extreme fear of retaliation, noting one of the men has possible ties to a Venezuelan gang.
You see what I'm saying? So while they're sitting there defending people, and again, going back to the premise of my original argument, let's say we all came from Haiti, or we all came from Venezuela, or we all came from Cuba, or we all came from Nicaragua. Not everybody that came is a bad person. Anybody who says that everybody came as a bad person is a liar. But this kind of crap don't make me give a damn if you're a good person or not. Then you combine the fact in that all the resources are being cut off for these people. The fastest way to make a good person become a bad person is put them in poverty. But it's what the Democratic Party does. They take cities and impoverish them because they steal all the money. And when they couldn't do it in blue cities anymore, they said, no. I got the biggest scam for you on the planet. No. Come here, guys. Everybody hold it up together. Huddle up. Listen. You know how we've been like getting money into the cities and funneling them into nonprofits and then taking the nonprofit money and then pinching off of it? I got a better idea. This is what we gonna do. What, dog? We gonna bring in illegals from all over the world. And then what we gonna do is we gonna give them money. We're gonna give money to nonprofits to get to them. Then the more we bring in, the more federal dollars we gotta give to the nonprofits, the more we get to take, and then they get a little bit. Then when it's time, we just throw them out the country. Well, man, that's illegal. Yeah, well, everything we do is illegal. What you talking about, dog? Yeah, all right, I'm down. Y'all down. Ready? Down, sit, hut, break. And that's what the hell they've been doing. Everything they touch turns to shit. Pardon my language. And so this is going to be the same damn thing. It is them squeezing these people like lemons to make lemonade. That's it. And when they're done with them, they're going to throw them to the side, just like they did the blacks, just like they did the Native Americans, just like they did the gays, the regular gays, the normal homosexuals before they went into transsexuals and cross-dressers. They'll usually throw you to the side. When I need you to be upset about something, I go pick you up and wind you up like a toy soldier and put you there. Okay, get mad. I'm mad. It's crazy, man. Listen, it's almost prayer time, dog. I got to go. Before I go, please head on over to my sponsor, one of my sponsors. I need to put the rest of the sponsors up here. Genesis Gold Group. The best way to get in contact with them is go to darkwatersgold.com, darkwatersgold.com, and sign up. Sign up. They're going to send you out a brochure. They're going to reach out to you, have a phone call conversation with you, talking about your needs. Why, DW? Why are you trying to sell me some silver and some gold? Because it's God's money, man. Where my silver went? I was going to do a silver giveaway. Oh no, that's not good. What did I do with that? I was going to do a silver giveaway. That was one of the many videos that for some reason my computer didn't record. I just took it that God didn't want me giving away my silver. Yeah. When the video didn't record, I said, well, God, you must not want me to give away my silver. Yeah, that's got to be what it is. But anyway, why do you need silver and gold? If you ain't been paying attention, it's God's money. Number two, you see it's a hedge against all this economic uncertainty. And when I tell you we are in the most uncertain economic times there are, we are currently in the most uncertain economic times you will ever see. Why? Why, DW? Why are you saying this? Well, because they want to destroy the American economy. Well, yeah, Donald Trump want to destroy the economy. No, he's trying to save the economy. Wall Street selling bonds onto the market. China selling bonds onto the market. Everybody want to see America lose because they want the status quo to stay the same. The people who've been getting the bread want to keep getting the bread. They want to keep me and you broke. That's why you got to play the game, man. Darkwatersgold.com. Darkwatersgold.com. Well, DW, I don't have an IRA. And go buy you some silver. Yeah, if I'm going to tell you anything, yeah, I like to see you buy you some gold. But everybody can't afford to spend $3,400 for an ounce. And you know, you might get 1/100th of an ounce for $34. But everybody can't afford to do that. And I understand that, but I can tell you what you can afford to do. You can skip 2 packs of them damn cigarettes and you get you some silver. Yeah. You can skip a couple of them damn hamburgers and you can get some silver. Yeah. You can stop going to that club making it rain and get you some silver. That's something you can do. Yeah, I know some of y'all still making it rain in the middle of an economic recession. Better stop it. You're too old to be making it rain. Too old. Skip a few of them beers. Get you some silver. You don't need 2 6-packs a day. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to drink it like that. You don't need a 6-pack a day. Stop eating that damn candy. Yeah.